Welcome back. So we're going to start on the rock crawler again, the Jeep project, the one that's been flipped on its side, and we're going to make some good progress today, I hope. We have to change up a few things. One is the intake. We're going to redo that. I don't like how it went, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the install we did of the new battery cables from, I think it's jeepbatterycables.com. They are awesome. I just can't believe how bad that wiring is. Well, we're gonna fix that today, right, Nick? Yeah. Got this thing from jeepcables.com. They look nice. Real good quality stuff. Everything we need. This is like a 7-wire kit. Instead of a 3-wire, this is a 7-wire upgrade. So we're gonna replace all that junk in there, get it out of there, and then we'll find out just how bad things actually are. So here's what you get in the kit. It's pretty complete. You get 2 terminal connectors. These guys are pretty nice. It just allows you to add stuff easier, being this mil-spec style. Got 2 fuses, 150 amp and 200 amp. I guess it depends on the alternator you're running. The fuse holder, so we'll have to figure out where to mount that guy. And then all 7 cables. And this stuff is really nice. It's all labeled where it's supposed to go. Nice terminations. Really nice cable. Yeah, this is good kit. They even come with boots on certain ends and everything. This is good stuff. I like this. I wonder where you get that. Labeled shrink tubing, because that I would like to have. I don't think I've ever seen a battery cable spliced so many times. I broke it. Really? No. Another reason that we went with this kit, and it's not only because it has all 7 wires that we needed or because the cable and the connectors are really high quality. It's also because it allows us to choose the gauge of wire. Now if you go with the factory size gauge that they offer, you're already getting a really high quality wire, so it's already going to be better than what you have. But by stepping up to a thicker gauge, when we go to put a higher amp alternator in here, because we are going to run winch, we are going to run compressors and a few other things on this Jeep, our electrical system is ready for that upgrade when the time comes. And when the demand comes on, we don't have to worry about anything. Now that part of the wiring is done, and as you saw, we really needed that, we need to tackle something else, and that is the intake. Let me pull you over here and show you what we're talking about. Now, in the last episode, we shoehorned this guy in here. This is from like a 89 Century or something like that. I'll put some text up exactly what it's from. But basically, we put this in here because we're really tight on space. And it does work, and if you don't have to worry about smog really, or they don't really check the intake in your state, this would work perfectly. The problem that I have is I live in California, and as such, we have very strict smog standards, and I'm really concerned that we won't pass with this. And in California, if you fail smog, it's a lot harder to pass the second time because you have to do a bunch of special things. One of the reasons that we didn't try to put the airbox here initially is because it's radiator support. Now, this support goes right about here, roughly like that, and goes over the top. What I didn't want to do is put this support here, block the intake box. It won't mount well right here like this with this bar anyway. And then if we ever have a problem on the trail, or we need to get into the inbox just to do, into the intake, just to do a filter change or something, you're taking off more stuff. It's only 2 bolts, it's not too difficult, but in my mind, it's 2 bolts too many when this thing just unlatches. So I don't want to build this Jeep to where when you're getting to one thing for maintenance, you're taking off a bunch of stuff. That just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't jive with me. But what I did think about after looking at this is why even run the radiator support? See, we're running full steel fenders now. So this radiator up here, the grill, has a lot more support now than it did before with the tin fenders. And I think that's the reason they have the grill supports, is because this grill is just thin tin and the fender was thin tin. But now they're running really thick, durable steel fenders. I think we can eliminate that altogether, and we'll leave the support on the other side. And if we do that, well, then what we can do is maybe build a mount to mount this like so. That'll give us all the clearance we need, retain the factory box, and we'll be able to pass smog. Let's see if we can do that. That's it. This is how it's gonna be. I might cut this down a little bit just cause, but everything else fits in here like a glove. We have a little bit of clearance all the way around, so with vibration, none of this will rub the hood or rub a hole or anything, which is great. And all the latches you can get to, which is really good. So glad we got that figured out. Like I said, we're just gonna not use the bar here if I'm really concerned about it. I guess I could buy some bar and bend it around here, but this is more than supported, or I could go from here to the fender somewhere, I suppose, but I'm not worried about it. It's okay. A little bit better look from top down. Remember, we did a pretty aggressive hood cut on this because we're running highline fenders. So from top down, that fits very, very well. I'm very pleased with that. And I personally think there's enough room in here for, the engine rocking and everything. They don't rock too much, these 6 cylinders, but they do move a little bit under torque. And there should be enough room, I hope, for that. If not, I could come up with a little bit different mount and get this snugger to the fender a little bit. And that would give us a little more clearance between here and the AC pump, which we want, AC compressor, I mean. So could get a little more space here, would be make this a little tighter, that'd be okay, and give us a little more clearance if needed, but seems to fit perfectly just like that. I'm very happy about it. Now that we're finished up with that airbox, we're gonna go ahead and finish installing the armor. We're gonna put rock sliders and corner armor on here, and there's 2 reasons for this. Obviously, the armor is gonna give us pivot points and let us run into rocks and stuff without damaging the body anymore. But it's also gonna clean up the body and kind of straighten things out a little bit for us and make the Jeep something that we're a bit proud of and nice to look at and nice to use.
You gotta get up every morning. Big boss getting richer every minute. Oh no. Big boss on. You gotta get up every morning. Big boss getting richer every minute. Oh no. Big boss getting richer
So one of the things we want to do is add a few more bolts to this thing to make it a bit more stronger. Will this bend? Probably not if we smack it here, for example, because you have all this reinforcement, but there is no hole here, so I think we're going to drill and tap one here, and then maybe one right here in the rock slider because I have nut certs and I can do it, and then maybe a few up here, one here, just kind of match what's going on there all the way along the top. I want to add one here, and then maybe a few on the inside there, and that will just really strengthen it up. Also, I'm debating whether I want to add some down to the bottom of that rock slider, so if we hit hard enough, it can't peel the slider up off the body. Even though it's mounted to the body mounts down on this section, in the front it's not, and I really just, like I said, we're building this thing to crawl, so I want it strong. We're also looking at changing the color of the fenders. One, we started out painting with a paint gun and everything. While that was really nice and it turned out really well, and the brown is kind of cool, one thing we thought about is, and I've already done it, scratched it just by working on things, then touch-up becomes a bit more of a pain, right? Because I have to mix paint to spray it. Where if we go with a spray paint, whenever we scratch it, we can just hit it with a can again. And we were testing out colors, and I had this can laying around of this copper by Rust-Oleum, just this metallic copper stuff. It's outdoor paint, so it'll work. And honestly, I kind of think that matches the Desert Pearl that this Jeep comes in pretty well. I think it's going to have a nice contrast, if you will, but the color is a bit closer. So we're going to change all the armor to this color as well. All right, so a quick pause in the video, and it's because I kind of forgot where we're at. My wife went into labor with our first and had it. Everything is good. Everything's healthy. I'm super excited. And we took some time off away from it. But now we're going to get back into it. Now I just want to touch a minute on the necessity of these extra bolts. If your Jeep is a daily driver, a weekend warrior, you go out like to hit trails once in a while and you just have fun with it and you're not beating it up too much, you really don't need these extra bolts. These sliders, the way they're built, the way they attach to the body, they're plenty strong. What I'm doing here is absolutely overkill and extreme, and not something that everyone needs to take on. And I completely understand why Poison Spyder did not put these extra bolts in here. It's a lot more holes you have to drill in the body, it's a lot more lining up you have to do. There are hidden spots where you have to insert more nut certs, and if you don't get those right, it becomes a huge pain to try to fix. So I get why they didn't add the extra bolts, but for our purposes and how hard we're going to put this, how hard we're going to use this thing on trails, I think it's well worth it to add a few extra bolts for security. With that said, if this is something that you do want to do, I recommend two things: a very sharp drill bit and a bigger drill. The M12 that I'm using here does work, but eventually I did switch over to a bigger drill, and then after that, when I had some help, I used a drill press. The steel is thick, and to get everything perfect, you really need just more down pressure, and it's a lot of work doing it with a hand drill. Alright, while that's drying, might as well drill the rest of these holes. Color turned out really well, I think. And just the way the armor works on the Jeep. We're so excited for this. So excited to get this thing on the road. Yeah. Not too much longer. So tell me what you guys think in the comments below about the color. and how this is turning out so far. I think this project is turning out to be really, really cool. Can't wait to get it off-road. Can't wait. So I think we're going to stop right here, mainly because I don't have enough bolts. Whether it's I didn't order enough for the amount of holes that I drilled, or it's because I lost them in the garage somewhere, which is more than likely that's what happened. So I'm waiting for the bolts to come in, then we can finish this up. I need to drill this hole out for the tail light and do a few other things. I don't want to do that though until the armor's completely bolted down and in the place it's supposed to be, because that will change when I go to bolt it. And yeah, that's it. It's looking good though. Jeep's coming along. I'm excited to get this thing on the road. This is probably the best this will ever look until we get it off road. Then all bets are off on what's going to happen to it. But it's coming along nicely. I'm excited. Anyway guys, thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next video.